Ladies and gentlemen, this is DVP World. You're watching another edition of Break the Fake, where we debunk fake news and combat false narratives. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and let's get rolling. Woody Allen, once a defining figure of American cinema, has found a new stage, Russian International Film Week. The director, who once walked red carpets in Cannes and New York, is now making virtual appearances in Moscow, where even logging into a live stream carries geopolitical baggage. And who's interviewing him? Fyodor Bondarchuk, the Kremlin's favorite director of carefully scripted reality.
I'm looking forward to it. I've been to Moscow. I've been to St. Petersburg. I've someone who's always enjoyed Russian cinema.
Now, Ukraine's foreign ministry didn't hold back. They called Allen's participation a disgrace, pointing out the grotesque irony. While Russian missiles hit Ukrainian theaters and cultural centers, Woody Allen is smiling into the Moscow feed to talk about art. It's hard to sell your latest film when the country broadcasting it is actively destroying cinemas. Not long ago, Allen was a Cannes darling. Now, he's a headline act at a festival where cultural relevance is measured by how far you've fallen from grace. Russia's state media is thrilled, of course, because nothing says we're still sophisticated like importing celebrities the rest of the world has already moved on from. It's less of a festival and more of a cinematic salvage yard. And let's not ignore the context. In the United States, Allen's reputation has cratered after long-standing allegations of abuse and the scandals surrounding his marriage to his adopted daughter. Hollywood distanced itself, but in Moscow, that's a resume enhancer. In Kremlin circles, the joke practically writes itself. Compared to us, he looks clean. So instead of applause from Cannes, Allen now gets nods from Bondarchuk. His characters once wandered New York searching for meaning. Now Allen seems to be doing the same in Moscow, only to find what every Western artist discovers when they sign on to the Kremlin's PR machine. There is no stage, just cheap scenery and an illusion of relevance. Moscow is back to one of its favorite tricks. When you can't justify your next move, just declare your neighbor the aggressor. This week's target, Estonia. Russian state media is now pushing the narrative that a country of 1.3 million people is preparing to launch an attack on the world's largest nuclear-armed state. Yeah, really.
Швеция усиливает войска на острове Готланд. Эстония с Финляндией планируют заминировать границу, хотя это почти невозможно и дорого. Затраты могут достичь 3% от ВВП, но иначе, говорят они своим избирателям, защититься от Путина не удастся. Глава дипломатии Евросоюза, по совместительству экс-премьер-министр Эстонии Кая Каллас, заявила, что Евросоюз, несмотря на заявление Дональда Трампа, не верит Путину и будет дальше вооружать Украину. Одновременно эстонский МИД запретил своим гражданам ездить в Россию. Отдельного внимания заслуживает материал в польском издании «Онет», в котором сказано, что Эстония готова нанести по России превентивный удар. Эстония по России. Ударим первыми, будем сражаться как дьяволы, призывает заголовок. Эстония планирует в течение 4 лет увеличить военные расходы до 5,4% от ВВП, а прямо сейчас Эстония уже укрепляет границу с нашей страной. Федеральные власти возводят заграждения на протяжении более 300 километров. Гражданское население готовится к гипотетическому конфликту с Москвой. Люди в приграничных регионах строят персональные подземные бункеры на случай ядерной войны и вступают в так называемую Лигу обороны на случай, если начнется обычная война. Сама эстонская армия – это 6500 человек. Танков в эстонской армии нет.
The goal here is painfully familiar. Lay the groundwork to justify another expansion of the war. If Putin gives an order to take Thailand in 3 days, the propaganda machine will already have the script ready. Estonia was the aggressor, Russia is just defending itself, and the invasion is actually a liberation. Sounds familiar? It's exactly how they framed the war in Ukraine. Once again, Russian media is spinning a fantasy thriller where tiny neighbors are constantly attacking, and poor Russia is reluctantly forced to respond. But we've seen how this story ends. Whenever the Kremlin starts talking about a 3-day operation, it means Russian troops are about to be stuck in the mud for years, and Russian families are about to be stuck bearing the cost. It's medal season again in Chechnya, and once again, the guest of honor didn't break a sweat. Ramzan Kadyrov's teenage son, Adam, has received yet another award. Now, this time, the title is Defender of the Chechen Republic. The medal was handed out during a tactical shooting competition for elite security forces. There's just one small twist. Adam didn't actually compete. He didn't shoot, he didn't even step into the range. He showed up, handed out some trophies, and left with a medal.
За личные заслуги в деле защиты интересов Отечества, безупречную службу, высокий профессионализм, проявленный при исполнении служебного долга, награждается медалью защитнику Чеченской Республики Кадыров Адам Рамзанович.
Now, to those unfamiliar, Ramzan Kadyrov is the authoritarian leader of Chechnya, best known for running the region like a personal fiefdom under Putin's blessing. His son, Adam, is 17 years old and already something of a decorated figure, at least on paper. As of August 2025, Adam has racked up 16 official awards, including the Order of Kadyrov, a hero of the Chechen Republic, and even a medal for military distinction. And no, that last one wasn't awarded for storming a bunker. It came shortly after Adam made headlines in 2023 for beating a prisoner in the detention center. An incident caught on camera that sparked outrage, but apparently also looked like a resume boost in Chechnya. At this point, Adam Kadyrov is less of a military figure and more of a walking trophy shelf. Because as Russia's federal subject, merit isn't earned, it's handed down father to son with a camera crew and a marching band. But hey, he's learning from the best. Daddy Kadyrov himself has so many medals you'd think he was personally responsible for defeating every NATO country twice before breakfast. Now, according to independent counts, Ramzan Kadyrov alone has received roughly one medal or award every 40 days since Russia invaded Ukraine. Now, just the most prominent ones include, here we go, Hero of the Russian Federation, Order of Courage, Order of Honor.
3 hours later.
Honorary Dentist of the Chechen Republic, this one is real. Honorary Dentist, Medal from the Russian National Guard, Chechen Football Union Award, Order of Military Brotherhood, Award from the Federation of Martial Arts. God, I need a raise. But here's the reason that the medals keep coming. Kadyrov gets showered with awards because it's about messaging. Moscow needs him loyal, loud, and dangerous. And in return, they decorate him like Christmas tree. He calls for nuclear strikes, threatens neighbor countries, and LARPs through war zones on TikTok. And every time he does, the Kremlin pins another badge. Not for what he's done, but for what he represents. Brutal royalty, televised violence, and a reminder that in Putin's Russia, obedience is the only real qualification for glory. And with that, we conclude this edition of Break the Fake. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.